Hi friends, welcome to another Childhood Atlas video. Today, we're going to China. And before I tell you anything about how children are raised here, I want to share a number with you. Every June, more than 12 million teenagers in China sit down for an exam called the Gaokao. It lasts 2 days. The score you receive determines which university accepts you, which university shapes your career, which career shapes, in the Chinese social imagination, almost everything you will become, and every family has been preparing for this moment since before their child could read. 6 years old, 4 in the morning, a child at a piano while the city sleeps, her mother watching, not necessarily because the child loves music, though she might, but because in China, excellence is a language, and you begin learning to speak it very, very early. Here's what I want you to understand before we go further. For most of the last 40 years, China raised its children under a remarkable constraint, the one-child policy. One child per family, which means one child carrying 2 parents' dreams, 4 grandparents' hopes, 6 adults, and every expectation this family has ever had. That is not just a childhood. That is a weight unlike almost anything else on Earth. China is home to 1.4 billion people, roughly 1 in 5 humans alive on Earth today. It spans a land area nearly as large as the United States, with a population more than 4 times as large. And yet the experience of growing up here carries a thread, a set of values so deeply embedded they cross province, dialect, and generation. That thread begins more than 2,000 years ago with a philosopher named Confucius. In Mandarin, Kung Fu Zi. His ideas about family, duty, hierarchy, and education are not museum pieces in China. They are operational. They shape what parents expect of children, what children expect of themselves, and what society expects of both, to this day. When a child is born in China, the extended family mobilizes. The maternal grandmother, Waipo, or the paternal grandmother, Nai, typically moves in within days. In cities where both parents work long hours, grandparents are not backup childcare. They are the childcare. The family is not a support system around the parents. It is the system. And for the first 3 or 4 years of a Chinese child's life, it is the whole world. Chinese childhood is marked by ritual from the very beginning. At 100 days, the Bai Riyan, family and friends gather to celebrate the baby's survival and welcome them fully into the world. Red eggs are given as gifts, red for luck, for vitality, Bai, for the hope that this child will carry the family name forward with honor. In China, the preparation starts early, very early. Piano lessons at 3, English tutoring at 4. Academic prep programs, Busi Ban, the tutoring centers, before kindergarten even begins. The logic is not unique to China. If the exam at the end of childhood determines everything, preparation cannot wait. And so it doesn't. But here's the paradox of Chinese childhood. The same child sitting at that piano at 4 in the morning is also the most cherished person in the household. Under the one-child policy, a single child received the undivided attention and the undivided pressure of 6 adults. The Chinese called these children Xiaohuangdi, little emperors, spoiled and burdened in equal measure, 2 things that feel like opposites, living inside the same child. Formal schooling in China begins at 6. The curriculum is rigorous from the first year. Mandarin, mathematics, and increasingly English from early primary. The school day is long, homework is heavy, and from middle school onward, everything is calibrated toward a single destination. The Gaokao, the National College Entrance Examination. Every June, more than 12 million students sit for a 2-day test covering Chinese, mathematics, English, and subject-specific papers. The score determines which university accepts you, and which doesn't. In major cities, traffic is quietly rerouted around exam halls. Residents are asked not to honk. Parents wait outside in the summer heat for hours. It is not just an exam. It is a national ritual. And for many families, the single moment their entire parenting philosophy has been pointed toward. The Chinese government knows this pressure is unsustainable. In 2021, a sweeping policy called Shuangjian, the double reduction, tried to cut homework loads and ban for-profit academic tutoring for school-age children. The intent, give children their evenings back. The reality, many parents quietly moved tutoring underground. Because when the stakes are this high, the preparation doesn't stop, it shifts. Ask any Chinese parent what they most want from their child, and many give the same answer. Xiaoshun, filial piety, respect for parents, respect for grandparents, respect for ancestors whose names you may never have known, a child who supports the family in old age, who honors the family name. It is considered a child's foundational moral obligation, the root from which everything else grows. But the idealized family picture doesn't reach every Chinese child. An estimated 7 million children, called Liu Shou Er Tong, left behind children, grow up in rural areas while their parents work in distant cities, raised by grandparents, seeing their mothers and fathers once a year at Lunar New Year, the sacrifice of one generation literally reshaping the childhood of the next. At the heart of Chinese parenting is a concept with no English equivalent, qi, literally eating bitterness. The idea that enduring hardship, real hardship, not comfortable difficulty, it is not just unavoidable, it is formative, necessary, an act of love. When a Chinese parent makes their child practice scales until their fingers ache, or pushes through a summer without a vacation, that is the love. The discomfort is the gift. Qi is how you prepare a child for a world that will not be easy. There's a phrase every Chinese child grows up hearing. Wangzi Chenglong, hoping your son or daughter becomes a dragon. In Chinese culture, dragons are auspicious, powerful, transformative. The phrase captures something real about Chinese parenting, a fierce, enormous belief that this child, their child, has the capacity to become something extraordinary. The expectation is an expression of faith. But something is shifting in China's rising generations. A word appeared on social media and spread instantly. Neihuan, involution, the sense of being trapped in a system where everyone works harder, but no one actually gets further ahead. Students who study 16 hours a day to reach a top university, only to find the job market on the other side is no less brutal. The ladder keeps getting taller, the rungs keep getting more crowded, and the question grows louder. What is all this for? If that sounds familiar, it should. In South Korea, we met the Sampo generation. Young people quietly stepping off the credential path, choosing not to marry or have children. In China, the response has its own name, Tangping, lying flat, refusing the race entirely. In both countries, the children of high-pressure childhoods are asking the question their parents never had time to ask. Was the sacrifice worth it, and what will we choose for the children who come after us? What China asks of its children goes beyond academic pressure. It is continuity, the belief that you are not merely yourself, but the living expression of every generation before you, every ancestor who worked without praise, who sacrificed without being asked, who believed the next child would have it better. In Chinese, this is called chuancheng, inheritance. The act of passing something forward. You receive it, you carry it, and one day, you hand it on. Quenching doesn't only mean what you receive, it means what you become responsible for. Every Chinese child is, in some sense, a vessel, for the family's name, for the dreams that went unfulfilled in the generation before, for the accumulated hope that something will not be lost. We've been building something across this series. Finland trusts the child, Korea trusts the work, Brazil trusts connection, Nigeria trusts the village, China trusts the family. The thread keeps extending. China is changing fast. The one-child generation is now having children of their own, and many of them are choosing differently. Fewer hours, more presence, less performance, more play. The conversation about what childhood should look like is live, loud, and genuinely unresolved. And in the middle of it, the children themselves, figuring out who they are beyond the grade, beyond the dragon dream, beyond the weight they were handed at birth. Here's something to sit with. Is there something your parents made you endure? Something hard, something you resisted, that you now recognize as a gift? Leave your answer below. I look through every single one. If this episode surprised you, or moved you, or made you think about your own family differently, that's what this series is here for. Subscribe so you don't miss our next stop. We're heading to Norway, where one of the world's happiest countries has built a childhood that looks like almost nothing we've seen so far. I'm Mara. See you next time. Bye, friends.